Dear students, let me introduce myself, Bogdanova Antonina Vladimirovna, candidate of Pedagogical Sciences, Associate Professor at Department of Teaching Methods of Institute of Pedagogy and Psychology of Education in Moscow City University. You're watching the lectures on the discipline Primary Language Education in Multicultural Environment. Then we continue the lecture with the theme Multicultural, Polycultural and Plurilingual Education. So we start. Plurilingual competence refers to the repertoire of resources which individual learners acquire in all the languages they know or they have learned, and which also relate to the cultures associated with those languages, languages of schooling, regional, minority and migration languages, modern or classical languages. Pluriculturality denotes the ability to participate in different cultures by acquiring several languages. Plurilingual and intercultural competence means the ability to use a plural repertoire of linguistic and cultural resources to meet communication needs or interact with other people and enrich that repertoire while doing so. And pluriculturality is described as the ability to participate in different cultures by acquiring several languages. Plurilingualism, I hope you remember, is distinct from multilingualism. The latter refers to the simple coexistence of languages in society or at the level of institutions and individuals without any focus of interconnectedness, while plurilingualism stresses the dynamic use of multiple languages in social situations and the complex of evolving linguistic repertoire of language learners or users. A communicative competence to which all knowledge and experience of language contributes and in which languages interrelate and interact means plurilingualism. Plurilingual education is described as manner of teaching and not necessarily restricted to language teaching, which aims to raise awareness of each individual's language repertoire, to emphasize its worth and to extend this repertoire by teaching lesser used or unfamiliar languages. Plurilingual education also aims to increase understanding of the social and cultural value of linguistic diversity in order to ensure linguistic goodwill and to develop intercultural competence. Plurilingual education literally means the use of two or more languages in curricular contexts. The purpose is to develop speakers' language skills and linguistic repertoire. It can enable both minorities and majorities to have a better understanding of nature, of their relationships, and of their own aspirations. According to Hornberger, one model of plurilingual education is the enrichment model. This model of plurilingual education follows the pedagogical approach of inclusion. Inclusive pedagogy matches the instructional conditions to the needs and special features of the pupils and has the aim of valuing diversity and welcoming heterogeneity in education, and therefore the full acceptance of language diversity in school as well. Such programs aspire to a general encouragement of minority languages, language awareness, and adaptive plurilingualism, not only for immigrant but also for indigenous school children. In enrichment model, programs of all languages that are different from the national language or national languages will be seen as resources which make a contribution to pluralism in education and society. The plurilingual perspective may provide some answers to such problems, as it recognizes and accepts the diversity of all speakers. A principle of plurilingual education is that the management of plurilingual repertoires and their development should be differentiated. Techniques are available for establishing ways of teaching linguistic varieties, which are not a matter of exclusive choices, but can be modulated, for example, over time, and are therefore negotiable. Plurilingual education includes both education for plurilingualism and education for plurilingual awareness. Plurilingualism provides the necessary conditions for mobility within Europe, for leisure and work purposes, but is above all crucial for social and political inclusion of all Europeans, whatever their linguistic competencies, and for the creation of a sense of European identity, as it is said in their documents. Language education policies in Europe should therefore enable individuals to be plurilingual, either by maintaining and developing their existing plurilingualism or by helping them to develop from monolingualism into plurilingualism, or from bilingualism into plurilingualism. This approach to language education involves putting in place activities to stimulate observation, analysis, and reflection in relation to a plurality of languages, including languages which are neither spoken nor being learned by the children. It helps children to acquire positive, open-minded attitudes towards linguistic and cultural diversity and to feel confident about their own repertoires. The program for polycultural education developed by Sinagina is aimed at creating polycultural identity in educational institution and in the family, which provides as assistance technology to the family. This program places the emphasis on studying the problems of international communication, development of a technology to optimize communication, and development of competence of teachers who implement the objectives of polycultural education. The program is interconnected with individual and upbringing process of educational organization and is represented with the unity of three parts. They are knowledge, attitude, and action. One of the parts, knowledge, is implemented through cultural information about interethnic relations, tolerance, and the reasons and consequences of tolerant behavior. Another one, attitude, is implemented through school subjects. As the example, literature forms an attitude towards country's classical heritage. History forms an attitude towards the historical part of the country and the world. Biology towards the nature, and so on. And the third part, action. The personality is formed in real-life activities organized on the basis of polycultural relations. This program is implemented on three levels. cognitive, affective, and motivating. The first one, cognitive, means awareness and understanding. Affective means experiencing emotional attitude, and motivating is described as active search and use of adaptation or productive strategies. The main directions of the programs are the following ones: social and cultural identification of personality, concepts and notions about polycultural education, positive attitude towards cultural environment, and the development of social skills, which are extremely necessary, especially and important. I can also add, especially in polycultural environment and within polycultural education. The polycultural education program was implemented in the process of education and the study to appreciate the effectiveness of this program was conducted. There are the results. The program was approved by the majority of teachers, parents, and students. By the third quarter part of students, and by more than half of teachers, parents were anywhere in the middle between teachers and students. The teachers were not so optimistic as they look at that as professionals and specialists. They said that there were some difficulties of implementing the program into the process of education which took place. And they are here, as you can see. The educational process load, many teachers say about that, and parents, and just only less than 1/5 part of students mentioned that. The lack of competent professionals and the lack of meaningful materials. One more program for polycultural education and for the education process in polycultural environment was suggested by Druzhinina. This was called the Program of Formation of Tolerance and Interpersonal Relations of Subjects in Educational Environment. The concept of the program is based on organization of joint activities of teachers and students, the formation of emotionally comfortable atmosphere, ensuring high level of organization of training activities, facilitation of cooperation, democratization of educational process, reducing the frequency of destructive conflict, physical and emotional abuse, and educational administration management. The structure of the program includes the following components: concept basis, content parts of education, including goals, objectives, and the content of the issue, the processing part, which is a technological process that includes organizing process of formation of personal tolerance and the means to form the tolerance of all the participants of educational process. In this one and in other slides, you will find references recommended to you on this theme. Multicultural education is developed on many levels: the state, the regional, and the local one. It is important to review the specifics of each level, and identity opportunities for the development of scientific research at each level. The following factors in that case should be considered: the views of every country on multicultural education, the competence that students show in multicultural contexts, the need to preserve and support local cultural practices already existent in the national educational system, and the role of comparative studies in multicultural education development. The goal of that type of education is to develop for students a more open, respectful, and tolerant perspective regarding others who are different from themselves. Plurilingual education will refer to all activities, curricular or extracurricular or whatever nature, which seek to enhance and develop language competence and speakers' individual linguistic repertoires from the earliest school days and throughout life. Education for plurilingualism will refer to plurilingual education, for example, teaching national, foreign, regional languages in which the purpose is to develop plurilingualism as a competence. It also should be noted that plurilingual education may also be achieved through activities designed principally to raise awareness of linguistic diversity, but which do not aim to teach such languages and therefore do not constitute language teaching in the strict sense. And here please go to that reference of the glossary of education reform, and you will find the most significant terms on plurilingual multicultural education, which we have used in our lectures and will use. Thank you for your